Hello, welcome pen friends. Welcome to Chris's Inked Pens for January 2026. I am video recording this on December 31st, 2025. So chances are you're seeing this when it's already Happy New Year. So Happy New Year, everybody. Hopefully it will be, and we'll just have to make it so. So I have chosen 8 fountain pens and inks to go with them. And I'll explain a little bit more later. A lot of this is kind of experimental for me. And I have several pens that I'm going to continue writing dry for January for letter writing. And we'll see how many of these end up going over to be for letter writing, and some of them are going to be too fine of a nib. So without any further ado, I'll show you the pens, and then we will look at the ink tiles and make a writing sample, and then we'll have a little chat. So here is the first one. This is my Lamy NEXX, and I haven't really written with this in a while. What I did was put a fine nib on it. I do really like the grip, so we'll see how this goes. It's kind of a test to see, is this a forever keeper? I think it is, but we'll find out. Especially with the ink it's got in it, I have a feeling it's going to be a winner. And then next up is, I've had this pen a long time. It's a Kaweco Perkeo in, I think it's called all black, but it's definitely black. All black, and it's got even a black nib. It's a medium nib, so we'll try this out. I haven't had the very best of luck with Kaweco Perkeos, but we'll just see how it goes. I want to try to have an open mind and revisit the pen. Okay, and then here's one. I did this on purpose. This is the Pilot 78G. This was gifted to me. It has an extra fine nib, and I'm thinking that I'm going to enjoy this in my little planner. And so, again, a little bit of an experiment. It was really good on the Hobonichi paper, and we'll see how, with the ink I chose, I think it's going to be okay on the Leuchtturm paper too, but we'll just find out, that's all. Sometimes I just want a sure thing, but really with fountain pens, you really have to experiment quite a bit. So next up is the little Pilot Kakuno in pink. And let's see, this was I'm not going to say a mistake. I think it was probably a good idea that it happened this way. I thought it was a medium nib, and it's a fine nib. So it'll be out of my box, out of my comfort zone, out of my wheelhouse, but I've put a really pretty ink in it, and we'll just find out. I mean, it's not as if I couldn't pull it out, put a medium nib in it if it proves to be too fine for me. But it's good for me to get outside the box every once in a while. Okay, then next up is a Pelikan Twist. Had this for a while too. I'm not sure if this is going to be okay comfortable-wise with my healing trigger finger, but some other pens have surprised me. So we'll see, and this has a medium nib on it. A very interesting cosmetic-looking pen. I love them. I've got 2 of them, I think. So next up is the rOtring art pen. And this is a little calligraphy pen that I really love. This was gifted to me as well. And I've got the 1.1 nib on it because that's the one I really like. And I think I'm using, let's see. Oh, I meant to talk about filling systems. I'm using a converter in this. Maybe we ought to go back and talk about filling systems. Just enough so you know what I'm using. I've got a converter in the Lamy NEXX, a converter in the Kaweco, a converter in the Pilot 78G, and I did use just a Pilot cartridge to refill in the Kakuno. I really struggle with those little Pilot converters. I struggle with them, and if I bring the correct patience to the project, I can fill them up, but I kind of thought maybe I'd go with the cartridge to make it easier on myself. This one won't fit in here unless I put it sideways, but that's okay. It's going to sit right on my desk anyway. And then next up, pen number 7, is the Lamy Safari in, I think it's Terra red or terracotta red, depending on where you are. And I do have a broad nib in this one. I think that's the one exception, isn't it? Must be. And so I don't know why orange, burned orange, whatever, for January, but that's what appealed to me when I started going through everything and I started thinking about it. And then here is the little Hongdian N23. This was my birthday pen when I turned 60, and I'm just turned 62. I just wanted to revisit it. It's got that really lovely blade nib, and I had a color in mind. Maybe you can see that green on there. So we'll look into that when we get, just a minute here. So that's it. That's what I've chosen to keep on my desk and do in my ink journal as experiments. And I'll show you my pen cases, how I've got them configured when we do the chatting, because I'm just going to have to write a bunch of pens dry in January. So added to my interesting situation here, but that's okay. I think it's going to be fun. So I'll get out the ink journal and we'll begin writing. Just a quick, trial with each pen. Okay, so first up is the Lamy NEXX with a fine nib and Lamy Turquoise. I couldn't help myself. I just had to write with this ink again. I have this sense that I just did this, but that's okay. That's what I wanted most. It was more about the pen and testing it out. And then this is what the ink I went for. So here we go. It's just so smooth. I am so impressed by the Lamy fine nib with this Lamy Turquoise ink. I love it. Okay, so Lamy NEXX fine nib. I think this is emerald or something like that is the colorway. And we're using Lamy Turquoise. This is one of those exceptions where I think I could even write letters with this fine nib. It's so nice. It really is more like almost a medium nib. It's really nice. And I prefer either their standard broad nibs or fine nibs. They're my very favorite. So next up is the little Kaweco. Get it right so that if it shows at all, you can at least see it. Kaweco Perkeo with Robert Oster Lake of Fire. This is one of my old favorite. I guess I can post it. It's very light, so it's not going to make any difference. Old favorite blue inks. And it's enough different from the turquoise, so I thought I'd go for it. Now, this is a really good start with this, so we'll see. I don't know that I've had trouble with this black one, but I have had other misadventures with Perkeos. Okay, I have, I think, a total of 3, and they don't stay prominently in the pen cases, so I'm thinking that, yeah, I need to slow down and keep better records. Oh, well, I'm putting the ink first. Oh, well. Robert Oster. That's what happens when you try talking and writing. Like a fire. Oh, this is really nice and juicy in this medium nib. Kaweco, Perkeo, medium. Really nice. I just really love this ink too. So it's a good one to test out the pen with because I've had nothing but good luck with that ink. So that'll kind of give me a little bit of a, a helping hand in trying to decide how it is. Okay, and then next up I put my favorite black ink, which is Cross Black, into the little Pilot 78G, and I don't know why I want to call it 68G, but I keep mixing it up. And it's like I looked it up and I couldn't find it, and then I realized, well, I got the number wrong, that's why. So it's an extra fine. Okay, not quite as, let's see, I bet you it's smoother up and down. Okay, got to slow down with it just a tad. Yeah, I'm going way too fast. Here we go. Pilot. It's almost like writing with a needle, but it really has its place in the little journal entries, little planner entries, and I like it for that. Extra fine. I just put black, although I don't even know whether they make other colors of this. I don't know. Cross Black. Yeah, I need to write smaller and slower when I'm going into such a fine nib like that. And it isn't the wettest, let's see. But that's good, and that probably is why I had such good luck on the Hobonichi paper, which is what this is. This ink journal is a Hobonichi notebook with the grid, and it's 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. So that's what that is. Okay, so next up, I got this really pretty ink in this little pink Pilot Kakuno. I put in Wearingeul Pride and Prejudice, and it's kind of daring to try it with a fine nib, I guess, but let's see what happens. Oh, that's dreamy. That's actually really dreamy. It's, you know, it's really smooth. It's quite a bit wider than the 78G extra fine. So, okay, so we got Pilot, Kakuno. Geez, all of a sudden I can't spell it. Why? Little smiley, pink, with Wearingeul Pride and Prejudice. I think there's a little more to that. Jane Austen Pride and Prejudice. Okay. But I don't think we're going to mix up what it is, so I'll just keep it at that. And we'll do a little smear. Ooh, see that? That was a way longer smear there, so it's nice and juicy. I don't think I'll have any problem with that. It feels nice and smooth. Okay, so next up I chose a gray ink for the little silver Pelikan Twist with a medium nib. Not going to post that. Let's see. Are you still able to see? I hope so. Okay, that feels nice and smooth too. All right, so we've got Pelikan Twist Silver. Oops. Medium nib. I didn't put the nib size up there, and I need to go back and do that, but we'll do this first. With Laban Athena. I'm auditioning gray inks because I have this Laban Athena, and I think it's darker than my favorite Graf von Faber-Castell Stone Gray, but I'm going to have to use this other gray inks up. So I'm trying to find out, can I live with it? Is it going to be more like black ink? I don't know. But we'll find out, and we'll see how it goes with the pen too. Okay, so I was going to go back and just add in that that's fine nib for records. I mean, it's not like I wouldn't be able to tell probably, but just in case. Okay, so next up, I put Diamine Lavender into the little rOtring. I kind of debated. I kept thinking, gee, it seems like I pick the same inks over and over, but I wanted to try it, and I just got that little 30 ml bottle, so I'm still kind of honeymooning the ink, I guess, and it's just gorgeous. It's so pretty, and this is really smooth, even on the horizontal. Let's see, vertical. Well, I said it right to begin with. The horizontal, everything is smooth. You just get that, it's a 1.1 stub. So you're getting, well, calligraphy nib, I guess. I don't know, it's pretty smooth. Okay, so it's rOtring. Art pen. I love this. I don't know why I don't have it inked up more often. Probably because of the large collection, darn it. 1.1. Oops. And it has another nib, too, that goes with it. But it's wider, and I do like to stick with a 1.1 usually. Okay, and Diamine Lavender. Gorgeous purple. Nice. All right, we'll see how that goes. That's going to end up letter writing, I'm pretty sure. There's quite a few. I can see, doing a mix, especially when I start getting sick of what I have going on in the pen cases. But I'm going to try to write them dry. I did that in the, in the fall. I wrote everything till it was dry, and it just really was satisfying. So I'm going to see if I can, I've got like a 5-inch chunk of correspondence to write back to people, so I don't think it's going to be a problem as long as my finger holds up. I'll be using up the ink all right. So I put my favorite orange, one of my favorite oranges. Now it competes with Birmingham Firebox, but KWZ Standard Monarch is just an old favorite, and I want to use it. I don't want it to sit there just saving it, like hoarding it. It doesn't make sense. So here we go. Lamy Safari, Terra Red, broad nib with KWZ Standard Monarch. Now this is from Fonto Plumo in the Netherlands, so if you're looking for it, I don't know if it's on stock right now, but I know that I did, that's one of the, I mean, it's like the only time I ordered ink out of, no, it's not the only time I ordered ink out of the country, because I did have like a gift card once, but I mean, to use my own money and order and pay extra shipping, that's the only time I can remember, so. Okay, so next up in the Hongdian N23 Year of the Rabbit with a blade nib, which I think is great. I like these. They're very expressive nibs. I did put Robert Oster Jade, and it's just a little sample. I was looking for green specifically, and I thought, well, I could use my Colorverse Supernatural, but I'd like to use up some of my samples. That's one of my intentions for 2026. So, and I remembered liking this green quite a bit. So here we go, nice wide, and then you get your more narrow up strokes. Okay, here we go. We're going to do Hongdian N23. I like this. Blade, You're the Rabbit. I don't know, I kind of almost think it, I don't know much about architect nibs. I've never had one, but from writing I've seen, it kind of, I don't know, makes me think of that. I don't know if that's accurate. Robert Oster Jade. I like it. It makes my handwriting, you know, look interesting, and it makes the ink look interesting. So, blade nib, really fun. I recommend them. and you know, it's a generous output of ink too. So, okay. All right, so now I think what we'll do, we'll look at the ink panel before we go to chat, because I like to do that and get an overview of what I've chosen. Okay, so I went with two blues, a turquoise and then a darker blue, the Lake of Fire, Robert Oster Lake of Fire. I love that. But the Lamy Turquoise is just such a happy color. It just appeals to me, and I thought, why not? Then, of course, the cross black and the little one that I'm also gonna ink, well, yeah, I just have a tiny bit of ink left in my bullet journal pen that just stays strapped to the bullet journal all the time, so it doesn't really turn up a lot in my Chris's Ink pens because I just take it for granted. I'm probably going to go to a medium nib, and because I know that probably won't bleed through the Leuchtturm paper, and put a gray ink in that, and I'll probably stick with the stone gray, but I wanted both black and gray for my little Leuchtturm planner, which is a total experiment. I have no idea how that's going to work out. And then, of course, the beautiful Wearingeul Pride and Prejudice. It's got like the gold kind of sheen, and ooh, it's pretty. Now, I'm going to need to get that in a broad nib too, but I'm thinking that when it's in a broad nib, it depends which nib. It may overwhelm. The flow may be overwhelming. It's just really amazing. So I'll be picky probably about which nib I choose for that. And then my gray that I'm experimenting with is Laban Athena, to see, is that ink a keeper, you know, basically. And then Diamine Lavender, which I'm already crazy about. And my old favorite Monarch, so that's my orange. Those three look really nice together. I don't know. I've always been told I had a really strange sense of color. So, and then Robert Oster Jade, which, you know, will be gone soon, but that's good because those samples shouldn't just languish there forever. And I've had it a long time. So, yeah, it's from Goulet Pens, and I don't remember the history without going to look for other documentation. But I think now we'll turn around the camera and we'll do a little chatting. And but on my way to that, I'm going to see what the cat's doing because it's a strange noise. See you over there. There, so it did not turn out to be a cat getting into anything. It was Manuel in the kitchen. I thought he was elsewhere, so that was kind of funny. I looked in the couch, all three cats were there, looking at me like, not me. No, not I. That was funny. Okay, so I guess I already said Happy New Year, but face to face, I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. Of course, it's like it's several hours away. It's more than 12 hours away still here as I'm filming this, but we're getting there. So, okay. So, I wanted to, make sure, full disclosure, I've got 2 pen cases full of my 11 inked pens that I have not written completely dry yet because I got carried away, and so I had more pens in December inked up. And I think that, that makes the usage on each one just a little bit lower. So I'm going to continue writing letters, writing these dry, and cleaning them out. I've got both the Rickshaw Sinclair R going, and I don't have very many in that one. I think it's 4. Yeah, I've got 4 in there. This is the top loader one. And my 2 Euphorias, a Lamy All-Star and a TWSBI. Wow, there's a lot of ink in that. TWSBI Diamond 580. So, and then in the Rickshaw Fillmore, I want to explain, I have not done the review or first impressions on it yet because I want to kind of break the case in a little bit more. I've had it maybe about a week now, and it's different from the Sinclair R in that it opens up like a book. So it opens up like this, but everything else around the edge is pretty much the same. So what I found when I got it was that okay, it's already starting to zip better. Yeah, when I first got it, I felt like, oh, am I getting worse arthritis? or is the zipper a lemon, which never happens with Rickshaw. They have, very specific specs on their stuff, and I've never gotten any problem with anything from them. And so I wrote to them, and they said, well, it is a little different. It does require fill it up, use it, break it in a little, and they're absolutely right. It was on the zipping closed where I was having a little bit of hesitation, and I'm not having that anymore. So I'm about ready then. I'll be able to do that. I didn't want to say things about it that were because it was too soon, and that's a real thing with anything like that. You have to use it for a little while. So anyway, in here I have the TWSBI Draco, the Pilot Vanishing Point, and then the Lamy 2000, which I can't really see how much ink that still has, but I write those dry till they're just done, and then I clean it. And then I've got 3 TWSBI Ecos in here, and a little Kaweco Sport, and I do have this always inked up Preppy in here too. I'm not sure what the thought was. Oh, and in the middle, I'm using a small one that's really meant for the mini pens because it has that Kaweco. I'm using that, and it just fits perfectly so that your pens are between the 3. So it's just absolutely perfect. And I have other 2 pen koozies that do that too. So, in fact, it's nice to have some options on that. Let's see, do I have that in here? I can't remember. Yeah, okay, I'm using one that was made by pen friend Terra. So this one is a homemade one, but it works just the same. You just put it between, and then you've got, you're not bulking it up ridiculously, if you know what I mean. It puts this pen here in between these 2 that have a slot. And then the... well, I'm going to leave some of this for the for the discussion and the comparing the 2 cases, and because I'm going to be giving you a first impressions more, or maybe even just skip to the review since I've given you a few first impressions right now of this. But I think it will have some value for anybody who wants to decide between the 2. And I'll leave telling you which one's my favorite for that video, because then maybe, that'll be an interesting point that at least it was for me. So got those full, and I think that'll be mobile, whether I'm going just from here to the library in my own house or out to an appointment. We had a lot of appointments in December, but we are not looking at that quite as much for January. We got some cat appointments for routine stuff. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. We're having a little bit of cooler weather, which is kind of really happy. I think it's 50 right now. It may be warmer, and it's sunny, so that's really, really nice because it was just relentless heat all during Christmas. It was a tropical week. you know, for weather. And I'm not really complaining because my different ailments or whatever seem to be better when it's not as cold. But I don't like us to skip winter entirely. I like to have cool weather where I can wear my sweatshirts and stuff and, you know, feel cozy and all of that. So I hope that you're finding things to be happy about and enjoying the hobby. This looks really nice. I did my little paper to hang up, so when I am writing and working with it, with these pens, I'll remember what's in them. And I've got the same with the other 11. Oh, I wanted to explain something. So I talked about changing ink journals. Whoops, oh dear, I knocked everything over. I talked about that. This is it's got a Midori paper cover over it, but it's a Hobonichi A5 notebook with the grid. Well, you know, it's what the Hobonichi does. Let me see if you can see that. You know, the little, I think it's 5 millimeter grid. But I decided not to because I thought there's no reason with all this paper. And this was a pen friend gift from pen friend RL, got sent all the way from Canada. So I want to finish this notebook, even if I have to skip pages if I get carried away, like I did. I got carried away last time, and this is the back side of where I did, you know, with a paintbrush. Maybe I can just not do that in this one. But I didn't want to start on the other beautiful 68 GSM Tomoe River notebook until I finish this one. I mean, not really, not unless it's for a different purpose. Because it just would rub me wrong to just leave it. I don't want to just leave it. And I don't know. But anyway, that's the decision for now. And I am determined to decorate this. It's too plain. Even just a sticker and then start kind of, actually I have some 2026 stickers, so I could do that because it's going to be mostly 2026 in here. Oh, that was a pretty one. Oh, Wearingeul Frankenstein. Yeah, that was real pretty. Anyway, I love to keep an ink journal like this. Okay, this is the other thing. So this is my ink journal where I do writing with each pen. It's experimenting. It's not anything, you know, it's kind of a rough area. You know, it's not pretty necessarily, and I grade all the pens. So this is the one, and I'll type this out in the description below the pens. But the other key, and this is particularly for a pen friend, I hope I can find it. Let me just pause so I can find it. Okay, I found it. So the other key to me keeping straight what's going on and having a record is I take a little pocket-sized notebook, and I have it in this little traveler's notebook, and I do keep track of all of my currently inked pens. So for years and years, I use these. These are the little Inky Fingers notebooks, currently inked, they were called. And this was a product that Matt Armstrong, and I think, let's see, what was his channel? Was his channel name Inky Fingers? I don't really remember for sure, but I think he left all his videos up, and he was great. I mean, I learned so much from him. And then he kind of retired from YouTube. But, so these were available for all those years, you know, and so I have from the very beginning, like, or maybe not from the very beginning, but from July 2017, I have a complete record of all my little ink ups, and believe me, it's really fun to look back. It is, and it's like a time capsule. And I numbered each one on the front and stuff. And you know, pen friends even sent me a couple more after they became a little harder to find. And now I don't think you can find this exact thing. So now what I've switched to is I've switched to using like okay, first I used the brown covered Goulet one. And I, for the life of me, don't really remember. Let me feel the paper, whether this was, I don't know whether this is 52 or it's probably 52. But they did have anyway, both 52 and 68 GSM. So all I did was just start setting it up like this. I don't go on the back because of the bleed through thing. So it must be 52. Although I'm still... Oh no, I haven't started in the Lockbee yet. Aha! We may find that's a lot easier in the little Lockbee one. So these are pocket size, and I find that both Lockbee, this is Dot Grid Lockbee, I'll put it up close in case you're looking for it, That one is the one I'm starting next, and I'm excited about that. So I went straight over from the currently inked to these, because I just find that these papers do get lost, and I don't want to shuffle through the entire ink journal process, especially since I hop back and forth between A5 booklet size and, you know, for special projects, and then a more typical A5 size. I've got a lot of ink journals. I mean, I don't even, I'm looking up there, it's a long space on my bookshelf, which I think is fun. It's really nice to look back on it. Now this, let's see. Oh, I swore I wasn't going to worry about what this was, but okay. This blue cover I won in a Instagram drawing, and it's Kakuno Book and Leather. I'll put that close so you can see it. So I like this because it's exactly the right size. It's slim. It doesn't have any bulkiness, and it just sits on my desk. I typically keep the one I'm using, which is that one from Goulet, and then the next one, so that I don't even have to move. I have them on those strings that, you know, Traveler's Notebook, how it works. You have it on the little elastics. And I'm just about to run out. That's probably why. Looks like I need to go back in and add this batch. I didn't do it yet, but I always do. I always do, because this isn't as reliable. I can lose it really quickly. And this, you know, a pen friend had asked me what were the 2 ink journals that I'm using. And right now, that's what it is. But this, the little pocket-sized Lockbee 68 GSM Tomoe River, those are made in the A5 size too, which would be the same size as this one. They're just thinner. Let me grab one. I think I can do it without knocking down the camera. Yeah. So I did a bunch of these when I was doing like testing out a whole bunch of different, this happens to be when I was in red inks. So I was just going through doing 30 days of red inks and stuff, red and burgundy and all the different variations. And these are really fun to be able to keep, you know, kind of a smaller amount in. Haven't done that in a little while because I just skipped the Diamine ink event this year. I felt I was too busy, and boy was I right. I was too busy with external appointments and things, accompanying people on appointments. So hopefully that helps. I think there's definitely value in keeping these little notebooks. I really get a kick out of the fact that almost all of my combinations are documented. I mean, obviously it would take a while to find a specific one, but there's always that rainy day or that time when you just want to do something like that, where you might just be looking for what worked out real good. And you can almost see by your entry how it looked and how it worked out. But I'm happier, even though I don't like, I have to draw these lines and stuff, and I have to, I do like the idea that these were always, you just filled it in, because yeah, that L word, that lazy word comes to mind. But, you know, however, this paper wasn't anywhere near what I was using to write letters with, so it's better for me to write on Tomoe River paper. I'm using a lot of that for letters and other papers that are more similar. So this is really good. September, I make a mess in them, but it doesn't matter. It's just showing me what combinations I used, and if I had a brain, I would probably come back and say, I know if it doesn't work out at all, I make a big fuss. I put an X, nope, or fail over the top of it. So that much I do, but that doesn't happen as often now. Oh, here's one. The Panonia something, I don't even know how you pronounce it. That didn't work. So that X tells me, don't try that again. Okay, so I think I've rattled on for a long time, but hopefully that'll be helpful to somebody. And I think that's it for this video, but I do look forward to doing my review on the Fillmore. It's a beautiful case, as are all of the Rickshaw products. I chose the Great Wave art for mine. I wanted to have that on something more lasting than a notebook, and so that's why I picked it. And this was Purple Splatter on the Sinclair. So those are two of my favorite things. So Okay, I will see you in the comments, and I'll see you on the next video. And oh yeah, the only other thing I wanted to talk about just briefly, I believe at this point what I've decided is to keep this no ad experiment going through January and see how I'm doing at the end of January. If it's helping me refine what I really want to be doing here without the monetized incentive, and also, you know, to see whether the viewing experience is better for those who don't have the one that cuts out the ads. I can't think what it's called, but you know, if you're not subscribing for ad-free experience, as we go, I think I'm going to get more feedback on that. Thank you. I've already gotten some feedback thus far. And I've had other ideas too about maybe slowing down and if I'm going to keep ads, taking them out of the middle, that kind of thing. But I just want to go along and see how it goes for now and pay attention to how it is for both me as a creator and you as a viewer. So Happy New Year, and I'll see you in the comments and on the next video, and I'll see you on your channels if you have channels. I'm going to try to take some extra time the next couple of days to relax and catch up on fountain pen videos and work at my desk. I got this little wooden bracket that Manuel made for my phone anyway, so I can just be there in a kind of a twilight zone of my own. So I'll see you next time. Bye for now.